Internets, hello you lovelies, welcome to the last Coycast of 2022. I am Coychandro, a Bostonian who loves pop culture, comic books, and people, and that is why we are here, because I love y'all so much. We're doing a little extra bonus. I am joined as ever by the illustrious, the wonderful, the keeping this ship steered, Jake Lloyd Bacon, as I drift into the couch.
You are barely there.
I am just
hanging on.
I'm just clinging to the rafters.
By a thread.
I literally was like, should we do one more? And he's like, I would love to. You look dead. And I was like, this is not inaccurate.
Yeah. So we're recording this
short.
We're recording this early in the month because and honestly, it's probably just good for Coy because it was mostly be me. I really like to take the last few weeks of the year off if I can. Mm-hmm. It's partly because of non-pod work catch-up that I like to do. Also, much like you, Coy, like I don't do vacations. You know what I mean? Like,
I've got 15 days and I have a week off. Very excited.
Right. So I try to get all the pod stuff done early, and so this is sort of the last day I have for the month to give to Coycast. And we had intended on recording just through the year. Yeah. But we had a late start for no reason, nobody's fault. Just a lot of stuff going on.
Yep.
And Coy, you're
a little under the weather.
You're drifting.
I'm not sick.
You're drifting.
I took multiple COVID tests. I'm okay. I'm not the vid boy, but
there's something going around.
There's something bad in LA.
There's something bad in the country.
Yeah.
Flu is dominating the country.
It is dark times out here.
It does feel like this is a very fluey Christmas in LA.
I've got my bones feel too big by like 3 sizes, and they've gone up from 2. When I started recording, 2 sizes.
I don't think that's how the Grinch ends.
The Grinch is
and
the
his
happy
bones,
story.
His bones grew 3 sizes that day.
That's the Grinch gets the flu. It's the sequel Jim Carrey wants to do about art. But we wanted to talk a little bit about Christmas. I thought it'd be fun to like.
Yeah, it's Christmas time. All right, listen, this is a pop culture show. Do you have a favorite Christmas movie? It's an impossible question.
It is an impossible question. And people hate the answer.
It's not impossible.
I have an answer.
Because we have Letterboxd.
Oh.
And I can go to a Christmas list. Well, I'm sure there's tons of them.
Sure.
And then simply sort by
my favorite and your favorite
by our ratings.
Because I know mine right now.
Okay, you know what it is.
But people hate it.
Mine changes all the time.
Oh, mine is.
Well, let me guess yours. I know what it is.
Okay.
Die Hard.
Oh no. Fuck Bruce Willis.
Welcome to a very Die Hard Christmas. We are here in Los Angeles, California, Dragon Wagon Studios, which is just below Fox Tower, also known as Nakatomi Plaza, in the hit Christmas movie, Coychandro's favorite, Die Hard.
You know, it's actually Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon is like, it's so what I want out of family. Like, I love that movie is about taking in an outsider. It's about like what family means to people. I love the subplot of too old for this shit and someone just enduring for their family. If you look at that movie, like it's obviously an action comedy, but what Murtaugh goes throughout the 4 movies to protect his family while being set at Christmas, while being about like, you've got this crazy outsider you've brought into your home and he's only done horrible things to make things worse. Like that's what a lot of Christmas movies are. And a lot of people, I think because of the Die Hard thing, a lot of people are like, oh, it's not really a Christmas movie because that's the argument. And since Die Hard and Lethal Weapon are in the same category, they write them both off. But the actual heart of Lethal Weapon has way more Christmas themes than Die Hard's One Sweater. Like Lethal Weapon is a goddamn Christmas movie.
Right.
And it's actually like really funny. The action's great. Like that movie owns, and it's also like if you look at that movie, there are some moments that don't hold up well. Like as far as what comedy is and those things, but that's pretty progressive for the early 80s.
Right.
Like Murtaugh and Riggs as a duo where Riggs is the problem and Murtaugh's the stable one. And like, dudes, you meet the guy and he's like 50 in a bathtub and he's the voice of reason.
Dick Donner's known for that. He's known for like, you know, here's a guy who when you look at him, you go like, yeah, that's every guy who's ever succeeded in Hollywood.
Right.
But he's always sort of been a champion of the counterculture.
Yeah.
Of mainstream.
This was 40 years ago. Like that's insane to think about like how little we've progressed now that movie's ahead of time.
So I just looked up Christmas and then I clicked over to lists. And the very top list, which generally means it's the most popular, is called Christmas by a Letterboxd user, Patrick. And it's a list of Christmas films and or films that have a significant scene set on Christmas Day or at Christmas time. Suggestions are welcome. There's so many movies in this list.
I mean, Batman Returns.
I went to sort by, and then I went to highest, your rating first. And the number one thing that comes up is Castaway.
That is a stretch.
But here's the thing though. But I can still look at this and I can still go down in order and see the things that I consider a Christmas movie.
That's totally fair.
And the first movie that's on this list that I think is unequivocally like a Christmas movie.
Yep.
it's fairly new, and I watched it within the recording of this podcast, and I gushed about it because it might be the most beautiful Christmas movie I've ever seen. The animated movie Claus.
I love that movie so much.
That might be my favorite Christmas movie.
Dude, this is amazing.
What?
My number one's In Bruges.
In Bruges? Oh, right.
Same list,
because
but
it's
my
on that
rating.
list. Yep.
But it's so funny, the timing. Like, In Bruges is mine with bells on.
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon's number 3. Into the Spider-Verse.
So Lethal Weapon is up there for me, but keep in mind, these all might have like a similar rating, but they're organized by popularity. Like once it organizes by rating,
right?
I think it sorts by popularity or alphabetical. Maybe I'm not sure. Maybe it's alphabetical.
I think it's because IKLS.
Because other ones that are on here that are like not really Christmas movies, but are there. Batman Returns is up there.
Mm-hmm.
Bad Santa, one of the great Christmas comedies, in my opinion.
Shazam, decent Christmas elements as well as being a good movie.
A Christmas Story, Die Hard. Elf, Gremlins,
the girl with the dragon tattoo.
Home Alone.
That's true.
You know what's after Home Alone for me? In Bruges.
Yeah, there it is.
In Bruges is higher than Lethal Weapon on my list.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, because
I've got In Bruges, Kiss Kiss, Lethal Weapon. So I clearly love Shane Black.
You do.
Martin McDonagh is very Shane Black-esque. Also worth noting, my favorite classic movie of all time is a Christmas movie. The original 1930s Miracle on 34th Street is one of my favorite like black and white films. Period.
Classics.
Like it's just. Pre-80s, I have a lot of weak spots, and I will fully own that the TikTok brain has ruined me even more. Like, my attention span's garbage.
Yeah, you're gone.
Oh, I'm fucked.
You have a hard time just getting through an episode of the show.
I've been on my phone
without
less.
being like, what's on TikTok?
Is there a Twitter trend I can investigate for news?
Yeah, I mean,
Love Actually fucking slaps.
I mean, When Harry Met Sally is a New Year's movie, but there is Big Christmas. If that counts, that's got to be my favorite.
Yeah?
If it counts. It's number 5 on the list here.
Dude, my list is okay. Let me just redo my list because it's so different than yours.
Also, Shazam is up there too. It's like number 6.
So In Bruges, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Lethal Weapon, Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse is in my top. It's like my top 3. I just didn't.
We're saying what we're counting.
Yeah.
But like it's just baffling. Klaus, Miracle on 34th Street, Toy Story, Deadpool montage, American Sniper, Shazam, Bourne Identity, Castaway, Edward Scissorhands. Oh, Edward Scissorhands is up there. I fucking love Elf. I don't care what it says.
Edward Scissorhands up there as well.
Gremlins is definitely up there. Let's see. Pain and Gain. Don't remember a Christmas scene.
Pain and Gain is up there.
The Night Before, I think, is slept on. The Night Before with Seth Rogen.
The Night Before is the one right before Pain and Gain for me.
Oh, great. Okay, it's right before Nightmare, before Pain and Gain for me.
Yeah, Night Before I gave 4 stars. That's an exceptional Christmas movie.
Good. And then all the Harry Potters precede Batman Returns and A Christmas Story. Driving Miss Daisy, I forgot had Christmas elements.
Yeah, I also have on there is Honor Majesty's Secret Service, the 007.
Yep.
Daddy's Home 2.
Oh, I think Daddy's Home 2 is so funny.
I think beats out Daddy's Home 1, to be honest with
you.
On
it
this
actually
list.
does on mine as well.
I also have Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. But let's see. So the top of mine, the first 10 or so.
Yeah.
Castaway, Little Women, the newer Little Women. Civil War, which has a Christmas in it somewhere, I suppose.
Both of us just paused. I can't remember that.
Spider-Verse.
Yep.
Harry Met Sally, Shazam, Scissorhands, Full Metal Jacket. Real dark Christmas movie. Hook, which is still to be one of my favorites. And I think that is definitely a Christmas movie for sure.
Dude, Dante Basco is fucking delightful. I'd never met him until this week. And
really?
We'd been in passing at premieres, but he's the coolest and cares about the pop culture community so much.
I worked with him on a Loot Crate thing as well.
Was he like
playing a Power Ranger kind of character? And just everything I wanted.
Yeah. Consummate professional. And
also, I don't think I realized how young he was when the movie was made and how I remember being a kid and watching that movie, but now we're the same age.
Right. And you're like, how did this happen? How did I pass you?
Right. Yeah, that seems weird. But yeah, Claus, Perks of Being a Wallflower, Toy Story, Walk the Line.
Oh, yep.
Potters, Deadpool, About a Boy, which is a movie I absolutely love.
Big fan of
with
About a
Hugh
Boy.
Grant and Batman Returns. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. There's some on here that you go like, Born Identity. I don't know.
Yeah, I've got that one too. And I'm like, maybe they walk by a Christmas tree.
But there's, you know what? Let's do some underappreciated ones.
Okay.
Because there's a movie out there that everybody sleeps on.
Besides The Night Before, which is so slept on.
Sure. Family Man.
Oh, I got that. Yep, that's high on mine too. It's actually higher than Die Hard.
Nick Cage is astounding. The Ref.
Yep.
With Dennis Leary, who I think you're culturally obligated to enjoy.
Science and genetics.
One of my favorite cheesy rom-coms. I love it. This is one of those ones I love even more than Alexandra, and I'm always shocked because I am such a hopeless romantic. Serendipity.
Do
you know the movie?
I do.
John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale, the cutest 2 fucking people ever in that movie.
Yep.
That's a real slept-on Christmas tale. I get to the end of me even seeing them here. Like mine just start being highlighted.
Yeah, I just have movies I haven't seen at a point.
Yeah,
including Being Frank, the story of the guy that is in Frank, the head.
Yeah.
It's a documentary about the real guy.
Yeah. That's I think that's on the bonus features.
Oh, I was like, why is that a Christmas movie? I've never seen it. I think Iron Man 3 slept on. I've said it plenty of times.
That's been high on my list too. Rocky 4.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you know what? I watched this last year, I think, and I talked about it. It might have been 2 years ago. We've been doing this podcast a while. And I talked about it during our Patreon series here. Office Christmas Party.
So slept on.
Because it's like
everybody's in it.
It's pure though.
Yeah.
It's not like it turns the trope of, oh, here's a bunch of lowlives who are going to throw a raunchy Christmas party.
Yeah.
The reality is it's actually like a really sweet guy who wants to save his company.
Right. It's the Office.
Who throws this party.
Yeah.
That is like out of hand, but it ends up like being for the good of, and it's like really wholesome because he wants to take care of his employees.
Right. It's one of the first things I saw Sam Richardson in, and he's continued that trope of like just incredible comedy and wholesomeness.
Absolutely.
He's so good in Ted Lasso too.
Have not seen the second Christmas Chronicles, but I did enjoy the first one quite a bit. Yeah, I mean, listen, there's
Christmas
no
is
shortage.
Great,
I feel like a lot of these ones were ones I watched just last year.
Yeah, I think we both did a big catch up for the show. I think we both because I watched Klaus.
We were like, let's watch Christmas movies,
and we tried that for Halloween this year and failed there too.
The Family Stone.
Yeah,
I watched that just like last year. That's also slept on, really good.
What's your favorite thing about Christmas itself?
My favorite thing about Christmas is getting shit. I'm a real materialistic
receiver,
piece of
shit. Real acquirer.
No. When
I was a kid, that legit was, and I owned that. But that has changed in the last 15 years.
That's depressing for me. I was the kid.
I was young.
I was the kid who was jealous of all the people who got like a ton of shit.
Oh, I didn't get a ton of shit, but the things I got, it was the only time I got stuff.
So I guess for me, this is welcome to an episode of Elaborate. My mother, she did everything she could. We were not wealthy, so I'm not faulting her for this, but I got a lot of like, this is Christmas and your birthday.
Sure.
My birthday's in March.
Yep, not close.
Whole quarter. I got a lot of that stuff. And I had a lot of spoiled friends. And I'm not saying that they were better or right, but as a kid.
Right. But do you honestly appreciate it more now because of that, though? Because I can legitimately say I do.
Yeah, sometimes.
Because I can legitimately say like, actually this year is one of the few years I've cleared the poverty level with my career. And I actually was able to look at...
Why am I paying for your letterbox then? Because I'm still in it.
First time in years. No, but it was one of the first times I was like, oh, I'm making enough money that when I look at my wish list for Christmas, if I don't get something, and that hasn't happened yet. What I'm saying is like, I went like, oh, if I don't get this, I can buy it myself.
Right.
I don't have that feeling, but it makes me look back at my family and them realizing whatever I wrote down the list, they had to struggle like I usually struggle. And like, I don't have like a TV on there. I've got like $100 soundbar. But for me, I look back at the $100 soundbar equivalent and was like, man, they struggled to get me that.
Right, yeah.
And if I only got one thing, I can now appreciate that twofold.
Yeah, I feel like there was always like the big thing I asked for.
Yeah.
And it was always like that. Hey, at least like that's the thing. And sometimes it was like a version of the big thing I asked for.
A lot of times.
Yeah, a lot of
but
times.
But a lot of times I couldn't get it during or after.
Yeah.
Like this is a new thing that like I wanted a certain bike. Here's a Walmart bike.
Right.
And like it worked.
Yeah. I think as a kid, for me, I associate Christmas with video games a lot. Because it was about like, because I was such a gamer as a kid.
Yeah, that's cute.
And it was very much like, oh, I wake up, I get whatever my mom got me. I go next door to the Fishers, my next door neighbors who were like family. And then from there, we generally went somewhere. It wasn't always the same, but we would go sometimes to my cousin's house, my godparents' house, my aunt, my uncle's, where my cousin lived. And it was always like, we hung out that day and then played whatever we got.
That's great.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and I would always bring whatever I got. And I'm talking like Sega Genesis and like, this was like when I was very little, Super Nintendo. And like, I remember sometimes being like, oh, I can't believe I got this. Whatever the wrestling game was that year, because we played wrestling games a ton. It was like, oh, we went and we would just play whatever we got all day long while all the adults did Christmas holiday stuff. So like, I definitely associate Christmas as a kid with video games, but then like, I don't have a Christmas association throughout the rest of my life because it was always because I don't think there was ever a tradition. The only tradition that I think I have in my brain, which also was short-lived because of interpersonal relationships with family nonsense and drama, but like Christmas Eve was always at my sister's house.
Okay.
And the Christmas Eve was always like, we had a big dinner. It was always like, oh, Celia and Sue do Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And like, but then like I had that when I was young because that was always the tradition when I was little. But then I because of family drama, I went 9 years without seeing my sister.
Wow.
From the time that I was not, or yeah, from the time I was 9 years old to the time that I was 18, I didn't see her. So there is tradition's gone.
Yeah.
And then from the time I'm 18 to the time I move out of New York is only 3-4. I moved out of New York when I was 21.
Rebuild. Yeah.
So I only had 3 years to do it again as a quote adult, as a young adult.
So you haven't really rebuilt that.
So it wasn't really anything that was established. So I don't have a Christmas tradition. I like it. I love Christmas. I like the new Christmas tradition of being here with Alexandra.
Yeah.
And just like we have quiet Christmas. And like before pre-pandemic, we would go to my brothers in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's probably my longest running adult tradition was once I moved out here and I was single, I would always go to my brothers for Christmas.
Yeah.
And watching my nieces do Christmas morning.
Yeah.
So I probably did that. That was probably the most common thing. So I figure I moved out here in 2009 and I did that almost every year. 1 or 2 missed in there, but almost every year until 2019 because the pandemic was the first year we didn't go there.
So 10 years. That's as long as
probably the longest running like tradition I had. But it was very much about them, and I love that. Like
that's what I'm saying. Giving versus like so.
It was about the kids too,
right? That's
about
you get to
kids'
experience.
Christmas.
Yeah. So I'm really lucky in that my family is like so you met them. They're so wholesome
too.
They're yeah. So we actually have we open one present Christmas Eve, and we're not allowed to like touch anything else. But there's definitely that like I'm gonna pick it up. And,
I love that. And like picking the one was always like no, not that one.
It's the best.
But it was just like oh, now I know that one's something
exactly.
good.
Like I'll save that one or I'll get it first. But we always do. You wake up and you do some presents, and then my dad makes a full ass Christmas breakfast.
Yeah.
Like he does a whole thing. But there's always before we even do the first present or the Christmas breakfast, we always got muffins. So I always have a pistachio muffin, which is bright green like Christmas. Yeah. And I'd eat that, then do the thing, and then my dad.
Did you do that when you were a kid just because it was green? Because you liked pistachio? Because pistachio's gross.
I love pistachio, and the green helps. It's actually the other way.
You're wrong.
I got one on the way here.
I legit
had a pistachio muffin.
I would have one because it's green.
Not even kidding. That was what I got today.
I love that.
So what was cool was, and what's funny looking back on is, when I was a kid, it drove me crazy that my dad was in the kitchen cooking or making high test coffee because I wanted to open presents.
Right.
But now it's become such a tradition that like I love the idea that like I had to be patient. My dad was trying to take care of me.
I love that too.
And
because that was the one thing being at my nieces for all those years, like Christmas is over in 13 minutes.
We take all day.
That's
because we do segments.
I love that.
And then at the end, after all these segments, we have to lay out our presents on the couches and take a photo so we remember, but setting it up, propping things up, like making it a thing. And then what you get is this moment where you're with the people you love and you're looking around at what you gave each other. Like it becomes a shared like panoramic. So I think my favorite thing is one, the ridiculousness of the coffee that you have to chew, but two is like,
wait, now explain this coffee.
Okay, so he makes coffee strong every day.
Yeah.
But on Christmas, he like gets rid of the measuring cup, and there's just this high. Like I remember multiple Christmases in my 20s not being able to sit still, and it was like an espresso but at volume, like a 12-ounce espresso.
Right.
And I think it's because like throughout the year he just lets it get stronger and stronger, and I'm not there anymore. I'm not sensitized.
Hey, Papa John Joe, if you're listening. I think you might have a problem.
It's insane.
I think your body,
so intense.
Your body might no longer be getting what you need out of that thing.
Just fucking going and like, dude,
I'm not saying you should try Coke.
No, but so dude is literally my father and has a better resting heart rate in HRV than I do while drinking pure fuel.
Yeah, he's drinking.
Don't know how he does it.
He's like what's his face on the set of Top Gun where he's like, hey, I have jet fuel in my blood. Yeah, welcome to the club.
Yeah, exactly. My dad's Tom Cruise going like, yeah. But yeah, so I love that. And then like my grandparents come up a lot now, which is always like really special. You met them. They're also really tight knit. But I didn't appreciate family as much as I wish I had younger. Like I knew I loved them. I knew they were good. But since they're so close, I feel like I was like, this is forever.
Yeah, I think because I saw so many different people throughout the years on Christmas, it was never the same thing. That I don't associate Christmas with family as much. Because like there were some years where because my family's so divided because of marriages.
Right.
There would be like, if I was seeing my sister Melissa on Christmas, then that meant I was probably with the Mancusos, with her family, which means I probably wasn't seeing my godparents' family. Yeah. Or it was like, I would go here for an hour and then we had to stop over here. Or because I was the baby for so long, everybody was like, I want Jake to come over for a little while. So sometimes my Christmases were very much like an hour here, an hour there. And it
kills me now with Zoom, man.
I never had that settle.
We mainly do Christmas over Zoom because my mom runs a movie theater, so that's the biggest day of the year. So it's hard now.
I would argue actually that like you mentioned breakfast, and that really kind of triggered. I do feel like outside of adult Christmas with my young nieces in my 30s and my I guess I would say like my mid 20s to mid 30s, breakfast at my next door neighbors. That was the only constant because no matter what family I was going to, which was always a different part of the family because there's so many different families.
That hub.
I always went to the Fishers in the morning after I opened my person's
That's
home
dope,
because it was always quiet in my house because it was most of the years it was just my mom and I.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes a boyfriend and the kids or potential but for the most part it was always just me and her in the morning. So it's kind of a quick and quiet Christmas. And then my mom and I weren't hanging around all day. It was always,
she's not playing Sega Genesis?
No, I was just gonna go play games and she was gonna go do whatever she wanted to do. And we weren't spending the day like that because it was or if it was like, oh, she's gonna go get ready to take us wherever we were going.
Right.
So in that window, I would go to the Fishers and that was the staple. And I did that all the way through teens into my 20s.
You guys a big movie at night family? We always like watched whatever we got.
Yeah, we never watched. We talked about this. Like, oh wait, no, that wasn't you. I think that was one of my other co-hosts. That was with Scott.
This doesn't sound familiar.
Scott over at PWP. Like, I never went to the movies with family or watched movies with family. Movies to me are they're not anymore. Sure. For so long, they were a solo experience.
Yeah.
That like it was like I watched the movie that I picked out by myself at night.
Yeah.
I would watch a movie with. Like if we went somewhere for Christmas, like I said, if we went to my cousin's house, we would watch a movie in the afternoon or something like that. But we were probably more interested in playing a game.
So remember those CD books you'd get and you'd put all your CDs in?
Yeah, of course.
For like a decade. Same. But for like a decade, we're a big Blu-ray DVD family. Whatever I bought throughout the year, I'd literally have a phone call with my dad and be like, okay, are we watching this? Which night? And I'd like stack them up.
Plan them.
Because I'd fly home and I wouldn't have room for a lot. So I'd fly home with that book of movies. Yeah. And it was like, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
What was the name of that company?
SanDisk?
It was SanDisk makes like
something in that.
Well, they make memory cards and stuff.
Okay.
It was a really popular one.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember what it was called. But they were the big ones. CDs, I want to say it started with an M maybe. Because it was like I'd go to Suncoast Video or Sam Goody and buy one. Yeah, man, that's gonna drive me crazy.
Family tradition, man. It's really interesting this time of year to see like how we all grew up so different. Like it's a very like the duality between you and I is always fascinating, but even the specificity of a holiday.
Right.
Is Alexandra really close to her family? Like do you guys do
so
like does she have those traditions?
Case logic.
I
found it. I had to look it up.
There it is.
Case logic. Alexandra's birthday is the day after Christmas.
That is the easiest day of the year to have a birthday. Right there.
So there's no like true Christmas tradition that I'm aware of.
Because I'm always curious in relationships, like do you adopt the traditions of your partner?
Well, the thing is, I think we both come from a similar situation. So like she's a child of divorce,
right?
And so like when she was little,
sure,
which is very little, there's a family tradition, but it didn't last very long.
Yeah.
And then the families were separated, and then it was very much like the moving, and so I think most of her traditions were predicated on relationships she's had.
Because I've always flown like when I have a serious relationship, flying them home for Christmas, they always seem a little overwhelmed at the sheer like the amount of tradition.
Right.
Like it's like because we're not a religious family, so it's interesting to be like, but we do all this very specific shit.
Well, that's your family's your religion.
100%. And that's special. I like that.
Alexandra is she does like a very specific birthday, whereas like I'm always like make a stink. I want to stink. She is very much like, no. Christmas is such a stink.
Right.
That
24 hours.
I love to just wake up the day after Christmas, relax with nothing to do.
Yeah. Go
to a movie whenever I feel like exiting the house.
Yeah.
She never plans ahead. She doesn't like to be like, well, we have to be at the movie at 4 p.m. on this day. And we know that's what happens. It's very much a like, wake up, relax, enjoy my day, take it my time. But she knows she wants to go see a movie. We generally go every year.
Nice.
We didn't in the pandemic, of course, but like, so like, I think for her, it's sort of a 1-2 punch. So I don't know that there's necessarily a Christmas tradition as much as there is like get through Christmas
my quiet day.
For my quiet day. Yeah. For the me day.
Yeah. What about New Year's? I mean, this is our last recording of the year.
Yeah, no, I used to be a New Year's person, but I got boring for New Year's.
Mm.
I found somebody to kiss and now I'm like, I don't need to go try to find
it.
I don't know. Like I feel like New Year's is very much like, oh no! I'm there to try to hook up that night. It's like I'm trying to find something.
It's my last moment of 20 blank.
You go, no. Like you would go to a New Year's Eve party, being like, oh, she's pretty cute.
Oh, that's
about
great.
This person, I like that person.
See, I do a lot of like, I look at my failures and successes and my resolutions. I'm very list based.
Right.
So New Year's is like a big list. Like New Year's is an OCD holiday now that I'm an adult.
I will say this, and you might feel the same way. New Year's is bullshit because it happens on the East Coast only. So now that we're in LA,
oh, that's so funny. Yeah, 9 o'clock.
New Year's is bullshit.
Yeah, let's catch up.
So what are we gonna do? Rewatch the ball drop at midnight?
How charming at 9 p.m.
This is fake.
Yeah, we've seen this. It doesn't.
We're all counting down. We're all counting down to 3 a.m. You fucking weirdos.
Great, good for us. The sun's coming up soon in the fucking East Coast.
That's
January 1 is only 3 hours away.
I've always been that person.
Oh, that's
because
so
by the
funny.
way, anytime I've ever been to like a party here in LA for New Year's, I spend from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock getting
all the
messages from my friends and family.
And phone calls. Sometimes you're like, I'm out. It's 9 o'clock.
If you live in the East, if I lived in the East Coast, we would probably still do,
ball drop party.
We might make the new tradition since we don't go party. Here's the thing, we don't know. There might be a new, like, again, we're turning into married friends couples.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we have all, and there might be a like, oh, well, if we all do a thing like the little I Do crew, everybody does something. That might be a thing. But if not, I think we might just do When Harry Met Sally tradition.
Aww.
Because that's like, it's one of our favorites, and it is very much a New Year's movie.
You got so much Billy Crystal in your life.
Listen, I really do.
I fucking love that.
Not enough, to be perfectly honest with you.
Is there too much?
Not enough.
Well, I think that is going to do it, you lovelies. We wanted to make sure we get a little holiday special of our own in here for you.
Yeah. I realized I had 2 days of people being in here to record in December.
Yeah.
And I put out like the little tiny Christmas decorations.
Dude, that one's adorable.
Do you know what that is?
I don't.
Do you recognize the shape and figure?
I don't, but I like them.
That is what I call the Snolgothan.
Is that the Golgothan from Dogma, but with
That
white?
is the Golgothan. And you recognize, obviously.
I love that. And obviously, Mooby. Yeah.
But you see what he is, though.
He's Rudolph, the Mooby reindeer.
Right.
Love that.
That's both
I should have connected the two, but since I can't see him all the way, now I see
both of those are homemade.
I love that so much.
So years and years and years ago, 15 years ago, when I was very active and prominent on the View Askew message boards that I made all these friends with, right? We used to have a gift swap every year. Like a VA gift swap.
Yeah.
And it was just a Secret Santa where everybody who wanted to participate had a limit, and they would all put their names, and then somebody would be in charge of randomizing the names and giving you who you had to send stuff to. And it was great because you'd get gifts from everybody all over the world. You know what I mean? Like country, and people that you didn't know. And it was really, 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 really fun. I, as a graphic designer and artist, would create the logo for the gift swap every year. That. And so every year I would make a like View Askew Universe themed logo.
Amazing.
And two of them were instead of the Golgothan shit demon, I made him an abominable snowman and called him the Snowgothan.
So good.
And I made I forgot the name of it, but I gave a movie a name like Moodolph.
Moodolph.
I made a Moodolph.
That's so good.
And I designed these logos like that were really nice, like little art just for the gift swap, just like a fun thing to put in the thread to be like, hey, here's the gift swap logo, 2000 and whatever, or 19 whatever, no 2000, 2005, 2000 whatever. And somebody started making whatever the logo was.
That's dope.
And sending it to me.
I love that so much.
So these are both
custom, one of one, handmade.
Yeah, one of one. And like the fact that they found this little Santa hat.
It's so good. And it's like, oh, it's so good. Dude, these are incredible.
What it's from.
You got to post these in the Discord.
Sure, yeah, I'll take a picture of them.
I can't describe them adequately. They're perfect.
Yeah, I'll post a picture of them. But yeah, that's my little View Askew.
I love that so much.
Christmas decor that I throw out.
I love that we're ending with our bond of Kevin Smith spanning time and gifts and holidays and ages.
Yeah,
dude, he just did my dream.
I asked Alexandra for Clerks 3 for Christmas.
Good.
I forgot because the Blu-ray just came out as of recording. I think it came out today or tomorrow.
Correct. Do you know he just did my dream? He bought a movie theater in his hometown, and he's literally...
I thought you meant that like, oh yeah, he made an appearance. I called him up and asked him, hey, would you be my dream tonight? And he was like, yeah, I'll find time.
Oh, I don't have to ask.
He did my dream.
He just shows up. It's just Kevin. No, he bought his hometown movie theater, and he's doing like his programming.
The Smodcastle.
Yeah, but his programming includes like Q&As with Marvel movies and stuff.
Great.
And I'm like, dude, that's I'm so happy. Like he was raving about it. He was in San Francisco, and to see him like, I've seen him be childlike throughout his career, but it's always about his movies.
Right. Yeah.
Because like, and you'll see him like, in a Star Wars movie crying, experiencing it, but I've never seen him on stage talking about what he's built out of not his art.
Sure.
So it was really cool to see him be like, I'm having the Russos coming.
I mean, it reminds me of Spoilers.
Yes.
Did you ever watch Spoilers?
Very much like that.
Yeah. I mean,
but it was just so rad in person. Like him and Jay just beaming about like Jay's trying to put in a fire pole in the middle of the theater and Kevin's like just them bickering, but in real time about a tangible thing.
Sure.
Fucking delightful.
Aces.
Yeah.
Absolute
if you're in Jersey,
aces.
He's literally doing a sleepover of Clerks 1 through 3 starting at midnight through 6 a.m.
A sleepover?
Like he's doing a sleep. Cute. So like that sort of thing is so.
Yeah.
And apparently like he's living upstairs while they're rebuilding it.
Right.
So he just shows up and appears out of walls and the employees.
Yeah.
But the employees call him like the Vanisher or something because he'll like grab popcorn and like disappear in the walls.
Perfect.
Can you imagine seeing Kevin in a bathrobe like
he's doing the Homer Simpson gif?
Yes, into the bushes, but he's the Phantom of the Opera at the same time.
I love it.
But yeah, much love for that man, and much love for you all. We talked about traditions and patterns and things, and Jake's talking about his new ones that he has with Alexandra and what he's doing with, like, you know, his betrothed friends. I do think, and this is something I'm starting to study because I think psychology and sociology are fascinating. It's actually like the main reason I like interviews is because I'm fascinated by what people, I mean, like the podcast Jake and I really met on is about like how people tick. And I do think that tradition is really important. And I think that we shouldn't always have to tie it to our family. Like I love that mine's tied to my family, but now that I'm getting older, I want to start my own. And I personally think tradition outside of religion can be healthy if you want to build something that feels like you. Like in just describing my Christmas traditions, I just got all warm and fuzzy, and I am so glad I had a pistachio muffin because now I have that feeling of Christmas. But it's really, I think, important. So if you're having a tough time this holiday season, or if you're not, I think it could behoove you to build something that feels like it's for you and share that with those you love and try to make something that will feel like an anchor through a very hard time of the year. This is a tricky time for a lot of people. It is not an easy season, so find something that you can anchor yourself to. Find people you love, if you know them in real life or digitally, if you know them through, you know, however you do, that doesn't change your connection to them. So show some love this holiday season, find something you care about, and have a fucking great holiday.
Absolutely. And if you are finding yourself this season feeling maybe without, or feeling longing, or feeling like, oh man, like everybody, this whole season is all about bullshit and I'm bah humbug, and then one, you're allowed to feel that way.
Totally.
But two, I want to encourage you, if you're not, to check out the Discord. Go to dragonwagradio.com and check out the Discord, because it's a really fantastic community of people that I know for a fact have become IRL friends from their...
Dude, I was so excited to see Robin. I was like, yeah, and I haven't seen Robin in months.
Yeah, it's a really great community that I guarantee you can say anything you'd like to, and that you can be whoever you want to be at, and you can share. In fact, man, talking about the VA gift swap, that might maybe next year we do a
I'd love that,
Dragon
dude.
Wagon Radio gift swap.
That'd be fun as hell.
Anybody who wants to participate. Fuck, I should do that. Why didn't we do it? It might be too late now.
I think it's actively December.
Might be able to be too late now, but maybe next year I got to remind myself to do that.
That's a great idea. We should start that same community because I love this community.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being a part of this program. We hope you have a fantastic holiday season.
I'm so glad we did this special. I'm so glad we did this holiday special.
Yeah.
I was dying 30 minutes ago.
I mean, you still need to leave.
Oh, I know. Well, I'm going to sleep. I hope I get there before I sleep.
You still look very ill.
I don't feel great.
But this holiday season, please do all the things. I'm going to give you some time off here.
Oh, thanks.
Rate and review on Apple Podcasts, 5 stars, and a little review would be very delightful. Reviews help us out a lot. They help the algorithm. They help the show get referred to other podcast listeners by Apple. And when a show like ours has been on for a while and we have a listenership, and while it's growing, it doesn't grow in leaps and bounds. It's a slow grow.
I tweeted about it the other day.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Gil, for your help on that, by the way. Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. What I was going to say was a show like ours where the growth isn't abrupt. What happens is they're so infrequent, the reviews. So therefore, Apple doesn't notice it because it's just an occasional thing. So I want to put this out there in the new year. Set a reminder on your phone, January 1st.
Ooh.
If you've ever left a review of the show, or if you've never left a review of the show, set a reminder, review Coycast. If on January 1st, a bunch of people all review Coycast, and by the way, if you update, if you just go to a podcast you've already reviewed, you can just review it again.
Still dope.
And it'll just bring your review to the top.
Yeah.
If a bunch of people all review it, then Apple might go, oh, this show is worth showing to other people.
Yeah.
And we might get a big boost. And people that don't even know the show exists, that might listen to other shows that are similar or like pop culture or movies or comic books, that might be interested in joining our community and being part of the family, they might see it and go, oh, I'll give this a try.
Just the time to write a review would be
so
huge.
Yeah, consider doing that. It's a really great way to help the program out. Of course, you can always check out Coycast.com for merchandise. I think if you're hearing this, the time it airs, it's too late for you to get anything by Christmas, but not too late for you to get something by January something. So check out Coycast.com for merch. There you can also find links to the Patreon. Patreon is the best way to support the show throughout the year. There are a bunch of different tiers there, tiers that allow you access to the weekly patron exclusive podcast. And then, of course, tiers that enter you into the monthly Unpunchable Gift Horse of the Month contest. The current Unpunchable Gift Horse, James Martinez, for the month of December. holds that honor currently, but it could be you next. So check that out. You can find all of those links at coycast.com. Also, find us on social media at Jake Lloyd Bacon, at Coyjandro. Use hashtag Coycast to get our attention. Send a voice memo to contact@coycast.com. Or if you'd like to be old and charming, give us a phone message. Call us on the telephone, 818-794-0722. And last but certainly not least, final time I'll bug you about this until our anniversary in March. It is the season of giving. And if you are enjoying this show or any show on Dragon Wagon Radio, I highly urge you to go to dragonwagonradio.com/support. There's a fun little video you can watch. Doesn't take up nearly as much as your time. It's not even as long as some terrible fan films that go around that I'm sure you have sat through. A few minutes of me talking to you all about what Dragon Wagon Radio is, why it is, how it is, and how it continues to be. It's a little behind the scenes in which you can learn how you can help the independent podcast network that I run continue to be completely free across all shows for all listeners. Please consider this holiday season checking out dragonwagonradio.com/support. We hope you had a fantastic year. We hope next year's even better. Happy New Year. Happy holidays to everybody. Stay safe. Stay warm and cozy. Eat lots of food.
Stay sane adjacent.
Stay sane adjacent.
Sane adjacent.
Watch a ton of movies. Read a bunch of comic books and a bunch of books, and watch TV shows, and spend time with your family, both blood and adopted. And get lots of really cool shit and buy stuff for other people and bring joy to the world and do all the shit that you do in the holidays.
Do it. All of it.
This has been Coycast 2022. We will see you all in 2023. Hey, you know what, 2022?
Fuck off.
I was going to say, thanks for existing. Hey everyone, Jake Lloyd Bacon here.
Along with Paul Bianchi.
And Alexandra Hoy.
Hey, we all host different shows on Dragon Wagon Radio.
We do, but that's not what we're here to talk about.
Not at all. We are here to talk about Dungeons and Dragon Wagon,
a narrative podcast series in which we venture into a mythical land for a D&D inspired role-playing game.
Alexandra and I are joined by Matt Hinksman and a very special guest of quest for each chapter of an epic saga in which we must take on the roles of half-orcs, dark elves, and more as we fight our way through a fantastical land of peril, drama, and often hilarity.
All of which is controlled by me, the Dungeon Master, and the players' chance rolls of the die.
And our show is for everyone. Even if you know nothing about D&D or role-playing games, we've got you covered.
That's right. Our game sessions are highly edited, easy to follow, sound designed from top to bottom, and completely immersive.
Yeah, our episodes sound more like a well-produced radio drama than an RPG show.
So what are you waiting for? Join the adventure on Dungeons and Dragon Wagon at dndwpod.com or wherever you find great podcasts.
It's Dragon Wagon.